In the previous verses we read that if I have some money and I give that money in payment, that money no longer belongs to me. The other person has it. Similarly, this morning I had a realization as I was studying for the class. A mosquito bit my leg. And after 5 minutes or so, I saw the mosquito with a little pouch of blood, a few drops of my blood. And I thought, that blood's no longer mine, now it's his. So in the same way that money changes hands, the living entity changes bodies. And here it's mentioned that this is forced upon us by the laws of nature. Our past fruitive activities determine our father and mother. And it's not just that we're talking about humans. It could be fathers and mothers in animal bodies, fish bodies, bird bodies. But here the consolation is mentioned that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Brahman da Brahmite Kona Bhagavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasad Pai Bhakti Lat Beach. Fortunately, somebody meets a devotee and then reforms his or her life and can go back to Godhead. So that's the ultimate. So we have to understand that the body is perishable. So a relationship based on a perishable body, one living entity connected with other living entities as brothers or sisters or fathers or mothers or sons and daughters. Those relationships are based on a body that is perishable. That's the point. Whereas the living entity is eternal. And this was the understanding of the son of Chitraketu Maharaj, who's now explaining these truths of life to Chitraketu and his co-wives. He's saying, I acquired a body from you, so I gained that body temporarily, and then I almost immediately lost that body, but I wasn't lost. I'm eternal. And Narada Muni asked me to come back and talk to you. He even offered me the duration of my life. I could have it back. I could enjoy the opulences of royal life. I could sit on the throne. Ayu means duration of life. We all have a duration of life in a temporary body. Ayu becomes Ayur when it's combined with Veda. Ayurveda. Ayu means duration of life. Ayurveda is the science of how to live your duration of life in a healthy way. But this son of Chitraketu says, I don't want to live out the duration of my life. Because in what sense are Chitraketu and his wife my parents? I'm the living entity. They're the parents of the temporary body I had. But I enter so many material bodies, all made of material elements. And the actual Father is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I'm part and parcel of Krishna. So I have no true relationship with the body that Chitraketu and his wife created. Therefore, I deny that they're my parents. I kind of once put that understanding. I deny that you're my parents. I once wrote that understanding in a letter to my parents after I joined ISKCON. You know, I was in the ashram for a few weeks and I was staying in touch with my parents. So I said, you know, actually I was explaining philosophically, we're not the body, so in that sense our connection as parents and son, it's not the real connection, it's temporary. And my parents were so shocked, they thought, now he's denying that we're his parents. What is Krishna consciousness doing to him? How can he reject us like that? So that the Prabhupada says the people don't understand this simple thing, the ordinary people. And they don't really care. They don't want to even hear about the regulative principles. Yesterday, Prabhupada was saying they don't want to hear about the regulative principles. They don't understand the importance of them. What's going on is that the whole world is compared to a river. When I left Vrindavan to come here, we crossed the Jamuna River twice. Very big river, wide. So the world is compared to a wide river like that, which carries the water and carries all the living entities along. And in that river, people become friends and enemies or family members. Sometimes they're neutral. Sometimes they hate each other. They're envious of each other. And that we act in many relationships in life. But the point of the Bhagavatam is no one is permanently related. Wake him up. No one is permanently related. No one is permanently related. There's a very similar teaching in the Bhagavad Gita in the 9th chapter where Krishna says that he's the grandfather of every living entity. I'm the grandsire. I'm the father of this universe. I'm the mother, the support, and the grandsire. Pitaham asya jagato. I'm the father of this universe. Matadata pitamaha. I'm the support. I'm the mother. I'm the grandfather. I'm the father of this universe, the mother, the support, and the grandsire. So listen to this purport by Prabhupada, just the first part. The entire cosmic manifestation, moving and non-moving, is manifested by different activities of Krishna's energy. In the material existence, we create different relationships with different living entities who are nothing but Krishna's marginal energy. So again, we create relationships with different living entities who are nothing but Krishna's material marginal energy, Krishna's marginal energy. Normally we think, the living entities, okay, you've got the different species of life, and then among the human beings, you've got the different nationalities. There's the Europeans, the Asians, the Americans, whatever. What are they? In a philosophical sense, they're Krishna's marginal energy. Under the creation of the Prakriti, some of them appear to be our father, mother, grandmother, and grandfather, and so on. But actually, they're part and parcel of Krishna. As such, the living entities who appear to be our father, mother, and so on, are nothing but Krishna. The marginal energy is nothing but Krishna, Krishna's energy. So the living entities, they appear to be our father and mother, they're nothing but Krishna. Not only are our father and mother parts and parcels of Krishna, but the creator, the grandmother, the grandfather are also Krishna. Any living entity being part and parcel of Krishna is Krishna. So we've got living entities acting. We have living entities acting like our grandparents, some are acting like our parents, some are acting like our uncles and aunts and cousins. What are they? They're nothing but what? Huh? Krishna. That's Krishna's marginal energy. And we all have experienced how things change in these temporary relationships based on the body. One day, someone is my good friend, and it can so happen that something happens, and the next day he's my enemy. So the relationships are the results of our different dealings. And as the modes of nature are working, we accept some people as friends in the mode of goodness. We can have friendly, good relationships. And in the modes of passion and ignorance, those relationships may deteriorate, change friend to enemy, and so on. So I'm sure that all of you are persuaded that you have no relationship with your mom and dad. That's it. That's the end of the relationship with our parents. We have no relationship with our mom and dad. Anyway, the parents die, so at some point the relationship ends. We may have some relationship until then, or until we understand the philosophical principle. After death, the relationship is finished, so under these circumstances, one should not be falsely involved in jubilation and lamentation. Any questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, thank you for nicely explaining. My question is, like you said, we are eternal living being, part and parcel of Krishna, and all the relationships are temporary. all the relationships are temporary.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, but being a part and parcel, all souls, all living entities are eternal part and parcel of Krishna. So we have the relation with the living entities should be eternal.
Okay, he's asking, we're part and parcel of Krishna, we're eternal. Other living entities are also eternal. So even though we have temporary bodily relationships, is there a sense in which we have eternal relationships with the other parts and parcels? What's your answer?
Yes.
What do you think?
Yes.
Yes? Why? 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 Why does the living entity, part and parcel of Krishna, have eternal relationships with all the other parts and parcels?
Because all are eternal.
We're all eternal, so the relationship is eternal. But maybe that's thinking like Krishna, that Krishna certainly has a relationship with all the living entities eternally. A little tiny living entity maybe doesn't have that quality in full the same way that Krishna does. So for me to say that I have an eternal relationship with all living entities, because they're all my relatives in the sense that we're all spirit souls, I mean, how am I going to relate to that? All living entities. I can't even relate to the number of people that come to the temple in a day. I see so many thousands of people in a day. What's my relationship with thousands of other living entities who come to the temple? I just see them. They come and do some devotional service. I'm here doing a little devotional service. What's our relationship? They're exchanging a relationship with Krishna when they come. It's not my business to have a relationship with everybody that comes. There may be interactions, then some basis for relationship is there. What about all the people in the world? They're all part and parcel of Krishna. Do I have an eternal relationship with all the living entities in the world? What to speak of the human beings? How? How can I have a relationship with so many other living entities? Is that practical in some sense? Not in the bodily concept of life. So maybe you're speaking about the spiritual world, in Krishna's world, where we don't have the material body. Well, spiritual platform in a Satchidananda body, then maybe yes, I'll experience better how I'm related eternally to all other Satchidananda living entities. But so what? What does that mean? What does it mean I have to do? If I'm related to everybody, what does that mean I have to do? I can serve others by serving the Supreme Whole. Everybody else is out of service. Anybody want to comment on that? You have a comment. Another question. You have a comment on this point? Good.
What I understand, Prabhuji, like in this material world, we have our parents, and so our relationship with our parents is based on our body. But Krishna is the eternal father. Krishna is the eternal parents.
Yes.
So, and we all living entities who are there in this material world, we are his eternal children. Mm-hmm. Likewise, we all living entities that are there in this material world, we are the children of the same eternal parents.
We are the
children of the eternal parents. Krishna.
Yeah, we are all children of God.
Yes.
In that sense, we're related.
Yes. That in that sense, we are connected to each other.
Yes, that's true. Thank you. That's true. Oh, brothers and sisters. We're all children of God. But not only human beings, all living entities. Prabhupada said you should think like that about even the little ant. Why would you kill an ant? He's your brother. But people are killing so many animals, not thinking, that they're my brothers and sisters, they're children of God. So the how to live in a way that we act like children of God to one another. That's the question. It brings up a question of ethics. How do we behave? What's ethical behavior? Moral behavior? Okay, next question. This guy.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. My question is that if our relation is temporary, if our relation is temporary with our father and mother, then what is the purpose that we meet together?
I didn't hear. What did he say?
Said,
Can you repeat what he said?
If the relationship with our parents is temporary, then what is the meaning we are living with?
What is the purpose?
What is the purpose we are living with?
If our relationship,
With parents is temporary,
yeah.
then what is the purpose we are living with them?
There must have been some purpose that we have come together.
Yeah, we come together, yes. That's explained in this purport also, that the living Krishna in the material world we create different relationships with different living entities who are nothing but Krishna's marginal energy under the creation of Prakriti. Some of them appear as our father and mother and so on. So that's Krishna's energy working. The marginal living entities appear as our parents and so on. Mentioned here also, because of the temporary body, we get so-called mothers and fathers. So of course, there's many aspects or benefits of being in a family. We all need families, especially a baby needs a family. So just to maintain the material body, the family is there. Sometimes in India, some people think, well, your first guru is your mother and father, they're your first guru. So they're the primary gurus, and they take care of you. Recently I was at the Museum of Braj culture in Vrindavan, just next to our temple, a couple of buildings down, there's the Museum of Braj culture. And they have one room with many signs explaining the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. So they have one sign, primary and secondary gurus. Primary gurus. The primary gurus are the most important gurus because they take care of your body. From the time that you're born, they'll take care of your body until the time you die. They'll make sure to pay all the bills if you can no longer work, if you're sick, if you're diseased, and they'll be the ones who provide you medicine and care in the final stage of your life. Your Siksha and Diksha gurus are secondary because they don't do that. Only the primary gurus take care of your body all through your life. So they're reinforcing the bodily concept of life by saying the primary gurus, the family members, are more important than the Siksha and Diksha gurus. This was on the board. So they're saying the bodily concept of life is so dear, it's so important, but they're not saying it's temporary, and the purpose of the Siksha and Diksha gurus is to break the illusion, to enlighten you about the illusion that the real situation of a living entity is eternal, and you shouldn't be thinking for the whole of your life, I'm this body, and when I get diseased and get old, my primary gurus are so important because my body is dependent on them, and so we shouldn't think about the family and overemphasizing the illusion. Okay, 8:30. I think I'll stop there. One more question? Okay. One more question. This lady over here. Also, you had a question back there. So two more questions. Real quick. Two more.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for giving your divine association. Prabhuji, I have a question. Prabhuji, I have a question, the way you were mentioning, and it's mentioned in Prabhupada's purport as well today's purport, that my question is, Prabhuji,
Speak slow. Speak really slow so I can hear every word.
Yeah.
Please.
Prabhuji, my question is, we in ashram also we see when our parents get sick, so many devotees, they are really worried for them if someone is a single son.
Just say one short sentence.
Prabhuji, in our brahmachari ashram also we do see that when any devotee's parents, they are sick, so devotees sometimes they have to leave temple and then they have to go home to take care of them. At the same time, when we don't have a pain, when we see other living entities, if somebody is in the hospital, so we don't have that much pain for them.
I'm not following you. Can you speak slow and just say a short sentence? What?
He's asking, when our brahmachari's parents are sick, all the brahmacharis take care of them, we take anxiety. But when we see that outside, people are sick, we don't feel that pain. So how to understand?
So you're saying there's a difference between families and non-family members.
Yeah,
We tend to take care of our family members. We tend not to care about others, right?
Yeah, my question is Prabhu, so what should be the exact approach? Being a brahmachari, should we just leave it on Krishna, that Krishna will take care of my parents? Or should we
Well, sometimes Prabhupada talked about this. He said that naturally a father and mother takes care of his own son and his own children over all the other children. But then there's the philanthropist. The philanthropist may start schools, he may take care of many children. There may be homes for children who have no parents, and somebody wants to take care of them. What's to say about that? Some people care about outsiders, people outside their family. Is that all you're asking about? Okay, next question. This lady.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Vaishnav Pranam. Prabhuji, my question is, why is it so hard to accept that we all are part and parcels of the Lord? We all.
You're asking about the parts and parcels?
Why is it so hard to accept that we all are the part and parcels of the Lord?
None of us have that problem. We all accept it. So, but only Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye. Out of many, many thousands of people, some few might endeavor to understand. That's because of the influence of material nature. Material nature makes us illusioned that we're the body. That's Krishna's energy. We can appreciate how wonderful Krishna's energy is. It keeps everybody in illusion. Strong energy. Right? Maya Devi ki jai. Thank you very much, O glorious Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.